I'm Chris, you're watching FRAG-MENTAL. Today I'm talking about 7 hyped niche fragrances that I feel deserve all the hype they get. Stay tuned to FM. Last week I made a video about hyped designer fragrances. You can go and watch that one straight after you've watched this video if you haven't seen it already. Today it's all about hyped niche fragrances, and have I got some beauties for you. I've picked 7 niche fragrances that I feel get talked about very positively, and some people may even call them masterpieces. Alright, let's get started. The first one I'm going to talk about was a blind buy for me. There are a few blind buys in this list. This is a fragrance that a lot of people who I watch on YouTube and trust their opinions said that this is one of the best sandalwood colognes money can buy. And you know what? They weren't wrong. From Geoff Trumper, this is Sandalwood Cologne. This one's based on your traditional barbershop style cologne, but it's so much more. And I would say the word cologne here in the name is maybe a little bit misleading and doesn't quite do it justice, because it isn't a thin cologne fragrance. This is thick and rich and creamy. Yes, it has the herbs and the woods and the florals that you would expect from your traditional barbershop style cologne, but this is way more luxurious. This is a fragrance that is not just a quick splash and go scent that you put on almost as an afterthought if you want to just smell a bit clean. This is a fragrance that you make a solid decision to wear. This is long lasting. You're going to wear this if you want to turn heads, if you want to make a statement, if you want to smell expensive and luxurious actually. I think it's maybe the amber, the patchouli and the vanilla that are the materials that firmly place this in luxury niche territory for me. This was a pretty safe blind buy because I'd seen so many positive reviews on YouTube, and also the cost risk was low at just around £45 for 50ml. To me, that represents stunning value. Okay, this next one was another blind buy for me, and again, I'd seen so many positive reviews, I just thought that many people just can't be wrong, and guess what? They weren't wrong. So also this one has tobacco in it, which is a bit of a no-brainer for me. You know, I love that note. There's also some incense and a really interesting hay note. Have you guessed it yet? From Serge, it is the wonderful Chergui. To me, Chergui is a masterclass in refinement and sophistication. And you know what? You smell this and you just think, it's magical. How Christopher Sheldrake managed to just combine the raw materials in here to create something that just smells so perfect. I mean, that's the art of fragrance, isn't it? This is actually quite an intimate fragrance. It's not a big performing fragrance, it's not a big projecting fragrance. It doesn't shout at all, but I think that's the charm and the magic of this, the subtlety and the refinement. People who get within about a metre of you, when we're allowed to do that again, are going to smell this and just be entranced by it. It's got this rich, sensual, powdery sweetness. There's also some honey and some rose in here, which I think are just lending this real elegance and class. Actually, that's the best way to describe this fragrance. Chergui is just pure class. I've been blind buying again. This one is one of my favourite niche fragrances and is definitely one of my most complimented fragrances as well. From Amouage, it's Reflection Man. What an incredible scent. Reflection Man just wows me all over again every time I smell it. Wow. So there's some creamy white florals in here. There's some jasmine and ylang ylang, but it never goes so far with the florals that it becomes this more feminine smelling floral bouquet type of accord. It remains very unisex, or even I'd say probably leans masculine. It is Reflection Man after all, but I think male or female can wear this. The star of the show though here is this creamy, sweet sandalwood, which is just so addictive and intoxicating. I'd say that this is probably Amouage's most accessible niche fragrance. Actually, I'd say it's one of the most accessible niche fragrances, full stop, for that matter. Reflection Man is just exquisite, and it's a fragrance that I never want to be without.
Join the Scent Geeks every Monday as we podcast about all things fragrance. You'll find us anywhere you can usually find a podcast. Links are in the description below this video. See you there, geeks.
The next one is from Byron Parfums. If you're thinking it's Muller Muller, you'd be wrong. It's not, although I do think Muller Muller did get a lot of hype, probably equally as much as the one I'm about to show you, but I've used it all up. I ran out of that, so I can't show you the bottle. So today, instead, from Byron Parfums, we are talking about the Chronic. Okay, you've got to be into sweet fragrances to like this, but I am, and I adore it, and generally a lot of people like sweet fragrances. Literally everyone I've introduced this fragrance to has ended up buying a bottle. Most notably, my podcast partner in crime, Steve, from the YouTube channel Frags to Riches. I'll leave a link to his channel down below. If you've not checked him out, go over there, do that and show him some love. So Steve professes to be a bit of a basic bitch when it comes to fragrances, and he'd never bought a niche fragrance. He smelled this, then he bought a niche fragrance. So it's just one of those really easy to love fragrances. It's thick and rich and creamy. It manages to be bright and uplifting, but have a lot of structure and a lot of depth. I think the pepper in here is giving it a lot of lift, and the cinnamon and the sweet woods in here just combine so beautifully. Performance is off the charts with this one. It's absolutely a beast mode fragrance. So if you want to go out there and get noticed, then do yourself a favour and at least get a sample and smell the Chronic. The next one is not a blind purchase, thanks to a very good friend of mine who sent me a decant. This is an enchanting fragrance that more than deserves the hype. From Andy Tower, it's Leather Desert Marocain. So I have a deep affection for this fragrance. The scent itself is incredible, but I have some emotional connections to this which just deepen my love for it. My friend Chris Giorgio, who sadly was a fellow YouTuber who passed away a couple of years ago, he sent me the decant of Leather Desert Marocain, and he was a generous guy like that. He used to send stuff out to people all the time. We all miss Chris, but he sent it in this pink shiny atomizer, and pink shiny atomizers are very attractive to little girls. So one day my daughters grabbed this and sprayed it and drained it. They finished off my precious little bit of Leather Desert Marocain. Well, it wasn't a little bit, it was a full decant, but they finished it, and I couldn't get mad at them because they came downstairs and they were so cute and they were so proud that they'd sprayed one of Daddy's fragrances on. And I'm sure that if Chris had have been there, he would have been laughing about it as well. So thanks to Chris introducing me to this, I decided to buy a full bottle, and every time I smell this, I just have some really lovely associations, and that, my friends, is priceless. Right, this one had to be in here. This is probably the most hyped fragrance of all time. From Creed, it is Royal Mayfair. No, it's not, it's Aventus. As well as a lot of hype, Aventus also gets quite a bit of hate these days. Maybe it's because people are sick of hearing about it, maybe it's because a new Aventus clone pops up every week, or maybe people are fed up with batch inconsistencies, but strip all that away and there's no denying Aventus is a bloody good frag. Suitable for any occasion, any time of year. Whenever I choose to wear this, I can always be confident that I've made a really good choice. A little bit of magic happened the day Aventus was created, and I think for that reason it deserves all the hype it gets. The thing I love most about this is there's never a wrong time to wear it. Every single time I put this on, I know it's got my back. The last one is from Parfums de Marly. Nope, it's not Carlisle, even though I do think that is the slightly better fragrance, but this is the one that gets shouted about more, maybe because it's a little bit more mass appealing, maybe it's a little easier to get hold of. It's Herod. Tobacco, cinnamon, vanilla and incense make this just heavenly, and it's pretty much the definition of the perfect autumn and winter fragrance because it's got this warm, comforting coziness about it, but at the same time it's got this attitude and structure to it and a sensuality. Definitely a very mass appealing fragrance. Like a lot of Parfums de Marly's fragrances, it's got this full-bodied richness, which is a quality that I find is synonymous with the brand. If you want to stand out in the cooler months and you want to wear something that is very addictive, then believe the hype, because it really is that good. All right, there we go. 7 niche fragrances that I think deserve the hype. I'm very glad to have those in my collection. I did do a lot of blind buying to get these, but I don't recommend it. Try and sample if you can, but generally I think a lot of people really love these fragrances. I rarely hear anyone saying anything negative about these, so let me know what you think. I'm sure many of you own these fragrances out there because just like me, you've been reeled in by the hype, and you know, do you agree? Do you think, if you bought them because of the hype, do you think that it was a worthwhile purchase for you? I'd be really interested in your opinions. So that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, keep tuning into FM, keep smelling good, and I'll see you in the next one. Last week I did a video of I've picked 7 niche fragrances that I feel are talked about very positively, and some people may even call them masterpieces. Stay tuned. I would say it's perhaps the patchouli, what is it? And another no-brainer for me was powdery quality to it. Strip all that away, there is no doubt. So it's got this it's composed with this really kind of full-bodied